The miracle diet is a regime which helps to restore balance in our body by consuming alkaline foods. The cells of the body are naturally alkaline, and you can enhance your body's natural function by consuming alkaline foods. Adding on to this consumption, Dr. Robert Young, who created the diet, recommends omitting acidifying items like wheat, dairy and meat. Becoming vegetarians is a must for those who want improved health, according to Dr. Young. He accepts that the change to vegetarianism requires a lot of mental control and strength. The diet, which is most standard in America, is not devoid of alkalizing food and is not vegetarian. Animal proteins are inevitable in the diet of people. Despite there is no compulsion to consume animal protein. It could be well compensated by the protein-rich sources available in the vegetarian group. A belief prevails in our society that the physical well-being and health of an individual is encouraged by proteins. Especially men are demanded to consume huge quantities of meat to have vitality and strength. This figment has, however, prevailed for a long time. As early as the 20th century, scientists believed that consumption of meat equaled strength, prominently in the field of sport. This myth has essentially been the driving force behind meat eating in the last century. In reality, the need for protein by a person's body is less than assumed by most people. The sources of vegetarian proteins are plenty and are acceptable on the Miracle PH diet. There are plenty of sources from which an individual can choose. But why is animal protein forbade by this program? Dairy, meats and eggs, which are sources of animal protein, have acidifying significance on our body. This tends to prevail on consumption of non-organic meat. Consumption of processed meat can lead to exposure of hormones, chemicals and drugs being given to animals before they are killed. Risks of the hormones prevail as there are no definite studies about them. Our consumption of antibiotics will increase as the animals are periodically how to lose weight. With the right food fed with them, this increased consumption will lead to reduction of helpful bacteria in our body. This leads to accumulation of metabolic acid in our system, leading to disastrous effects. The helpful bacteria which check the accumulation of metabolic acid in our system are killed by the antibiotics in the animals. Good elements like minerals, vitamins and proteins can be obtained from vegetarian food without any dangers. 0.20 grams of protein is contained in a cup of tofu, which is an alkalizing source. An average human requires only about 40 grams of protein per day. This can be easily satisfied without the consumption of meat. Switching to vegetarianism is much of a mental battle than a physical battle. In fact, the absence of acidifying animal protein leads to efficient body. Consumption of meat is a routine and the advantages of consuming it is a figment. There is no need for meat physically. Omitting meat from our diet leads to opening our eyes to a huge variety of foods that convincingly replace meat. When one follows the Miracle diet, she will notice that Dr. Robert suggests an equity of 70% alkaline and 30% acidic food. Hence, there is some extent for consuming items in the acidic group. Even though it would be tempting to consume proteins from animal sources, it is preferable to choose from the less acidic foods like oats, eggs, pastas and other products. It is certainly the individual's choice to become a pure vegetarian. Reducing the quantity of animal protein will lead to improvements in your health eventually.